Okay, good afternoon, my people. Good morning. It's morning my time. It's afternoon someplace else in the world. It's evening. It's nighttime some side them. This is Fadima with another edition of Social Media Review. Today is the 28th of March 2021. And we tell God thank you for another life. We tell God thank you for another day. We expect we guests for coming at any time. Run bien. We don't wait until, but we decide for come and begin the show. And when it come, it go join we in. It say and then I road they reach now or soon because say things can come up in our life where we not expect it. Oh no, so we're very very sorry for the delay, but the Honorable Mr. Mohamed Swaray, when are the Minister of Information and Communications, go get for come with we, and we get a roundtable discussion today. Today we want to talk on things them where they happen in our country, but especially today the new cyber crime bill, when they try for pass na the country. And then build and they will can't try forget the understanding. We want to ask the minister to question them where people they want for know, where people they know understand. And that's why we have him with the get on today. And he don't agree for can't talk to we, especially we not the diaspora, because this is a platform away from home. This is the voice of Sierra Leone where everybody voice matter. And things that whether they do that they affect we safe. So we get for ask the questions because it will affect me, it will affect you, but by tomorrow, so you get for know what in the day inside them bill here. This is why the minister don't agree for can't to we, for can't talk with we, and then we go ask on other issues, and we go give the minister time, and we go ask we wait at the studio for let we ask question them. We go ask question them later of the minister, but this is only gonna be a question. And if give a heads up. We no say VOS platform. We don't maintain that decency and respect for one another, mutual respect for one another. When we talk to ourselves, even if we get disagreements, there is a way to say it. We try for be polite and nice. We cannot be using any obscenity or calling people out of their names. And then at the thing what they try for maintain. So when the minister come, if you na Sierra Leone and you get a question where you are asked, no question is a stupid question. You can ask the minister go choose for answer or not. And we go see how they go, because we already take 30 minutes of the programming time. So let me not talk about again. Let bring in my co-host them. Me then tell them I do quick, Professor Kutubu, and also we get Mr. Shilon with we. We all then are today for talk the things them where they affect we, and we go get for affect we because we know say they don't make law them before where they don't affect we, where we people are not in the think, where the people are not get sick by anything in the day. So that's why the minister instead have been put and say let us discuss. That's why he agree for Kanaya today. For now we can discuss and let we ask and exchange ideas and questions. So it go carry and go back to the one that we don't sit down for put this bill together, let them go adjust waiting again for adjust them, add waiting again for take our waiting again for them. We go benefit all of Salone, not to one set of people anymore. So that person to una the co-host them. Now I tell the people there and me people them wanna share please, because this conversation is about me, it's about you, it's about your generation to come, about you fumble the way they not gone na Salone right now. And it's very important. So do ya una let we share, una let we pass them on. And on a come, we all can engage for talk about this talk. So I pass them back to you at the studio. Me co-host them, please.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're in the world. This is Mr. Shilon coming to you from the USA. Me a co-host. So as Ms. Fadima indicates, we get a new trend or movement by the government through the Ministry of Information with respect to trying for introduce what you call cyber crimes. So for past laws controlling or governing their activities in day. And cyber means the airwave crimes the way you will commit through the waves, not on land, sort of. So now we are interested in asking the minister a lot of questions and in listening to the minister, waiting now the motivation behind that law, why the necessity or why is it necessary now at this moment, with all the things that we Sierra Leone get in terms of law enforcement and enforcing the existing laws and the books. Maybe the minister, as minister, he know a lot of things where we don't know why this is a necessity at this stage. So we appreciate the fact that they come for can't talk to we, and we hope more ministers then will be willing for can't explain themselves, and then the government when they get intention for pass laws, then where they no go affect not only themselves, not only the young people, not only the entire population, but future generations. So with that in mind, and with that said, I will pass on over to Mr. Kutubu. So, Professor Naina.
Thank you very much, you two guys. By way of greeting, waiting me and look for accentuate, waiting the lead host talk just now about how we get for conduct yourself now. We need to understand, say, an honor and privilege, not to actually write, though, a privilege you get. So one actually asks that they will all capitalize on this, privilege you get now. You will, obviously, you will disagree with whatever message we or the minister will put out, God make it come. But waiting will make it very disagreeable now how you communicate them. Remember, we know there are daggers drawn, we know they fight one another, we just here for exchange opinion. This is not part of the democratic processes. Then call and participate in democracy, who they talk. So in that vein, we expect we all for come on with Sunday quotes then, Lord remain fundamentally restrained and Lord be very careful, because depending on what will happen now, will prompt other government officials if we come. If we put up any image now, we're very appalling, then obviously that could even be a reflection of we, and that's not what we are. We are people of self-respect. We carry ourselves with and viewers that this way, the only thing way we tolerate that things that we get for be done within the confines of respectability, not to that big waff kinjimi, or down long step mentality. That's not the work now. So with that, thanks very much for coming, and we hope say the discussion will be very lively and robust. Back to you guys in the studio.
Well, me people them una come again. We don't come again. We know say we talk about the corona first while we wait on the minister, and then we talk on the issue. But let people understand what is at stake here. Coronavirus still there. We see, like I say, we see people them, ordinary citizens them. We don't take this corona vaccine. We see the president and people the way they high up. But we still they appeal to una say coronavirus na real thing. They not them part of the world there where we there. And I know say Professor Kutubu Sef don't take his vaccine, Mr. Shilon don't take his own vaccine, and we still get people them where they catch this coronavirus inside Freetown. So when this virus there, una we try for do what we do for try for help with people them for let them able for prevent this thing from spreading, because corona day and sometimes we where they go now we the care and go there. We know that all, and we know say that thing they kill corona they kill in the world, and we know say they don't say they don't get vaccine, but we they ask leadership for let them set the example, because I see a video where them beat somebody, say the poda driver or the keke driver, where say in passenger no wear mask, people then go then beat him mercilessly till he go na toilet, he saying go na toilet by himself. But then we see leadership them, they go side them, they get a crowd, they go do what thing and they do, and and so then Lord and they when they can pass, sometimes it don't affect the one the way they up, but it affect the one the way they don't. That's why when we get this minister, the candidate we get for ask them question and they, because Lord them they get for make it get for be good for the citizens, and Lord them we're not going for interfere with the rights and human rights and law things of citizens. That's why we get for come begin talk on that day. So corona is real, corona they kill. Una let we waiting and call. If una get the opportunity, una take the vaccine, because like me, I don't take them. Now America, you know, it's a choice. It's not a way they call, but for be not selfish to one another, we got for try for protect one another, especially within the diaspora. It's very important. So long get them vaccine, they not get enough for everybody. We remember that day. So whatever they get, if we not trust them, we not do them, but we not don't see. We be all say, let the presidents then first take. I will see the president don't do them. We see other dignitaries they don't do them. We wait for see more people than for do them because the people them not trust the process that way they. So that pass on to enough. And again, the other thing, why would they try for fitting the minister and adjust them and come in? Then we will go straight to the discussions. Let we go on.
Good day, good day, good day. The minister is actually here on seat now.
Oh, okay.
I got home 5 minutes ago. I was traveling from Makina. I just got to Freetown. I'm here for this program. I could have stayed a little longer, but I wanted to keep the commitment. I'm here.
Oh, okay. We appreciate that, Mr. Swaray. We appreciate you so much. Technical team, do you have to adjust him or do anything to him? You want to take a quick break, or would you be okay with this Zoom? You got to adjust a little bit. Are you okay with that?
Ooh, yeah. Very, very many happy reasons.
Mama and birthday they come on. Una no say time and history, no they ever tap for born. That pikin wey dem born tradeya, April 27, 1961. Na im don turn mama so, with almost million pikin. Mama Salone, we young mama. He give me message for we all o. He say, the thing dem wey we dey allow for scatter we, for tie dem a bundle, burn dem, and make breeze blow the ashes go far away. Done the thing them way they gather we as one nation, for put we at pan them, think and talk about them, and try for they do them, so that we can stitch them together inside we at like patchwork bed sheet, lay down pan them, wrap we safe with them, or make a shobi, so any side where we go, as then see we one kind, then go know who side we come on. And then go see the love for we comping pan we. Complain, grumble, curse and swear, they make we sour. Like I say, na sour plum and tombi normal we they eat. So as tattoo and yawan meat, then don't ready for bet themselves. As we the fet we self, stranger than they gather we property. Then they eat we rest, we the fet for pick the black. But we no go land. Mama go 60 years just now. We get plenty clever brother and sister them. We be make the world respect we. Who side that respect they don't go. Una make we gather we safe. Plenty good thing and good people dey na salon. If we want for see them, we go able see them. Like how we can able fend and scatter the bad thing them but we safe. Make we make up we.
Okay, me people, then we go down that message later. That message then about one word. We're very, very good. It come up from the president's office, the cultural people where they and they don't tell you no than they said. But yes, we don't get the minister with we. It all up to in commitment. He agree for come a man of in word. They don't come for lay come discuss with we. We get this roundtable discussion. Like I've been don't tell you now, we get for talk on issues them where they affect the lives of the people. And one of this thing, this cyber bill, this new crime bill, where people they don't put together of 2020, where they don't put together, where they want push in a parliament, where it will become a law because the bill get for go to parliament approve them, then it becomes a law. We get the Minister of Information and Communication, when at the voice of the administration, where now in they do the things and can't we and tell we boku thing them. So I want to tell and thank you for where you don't join we. And Mr. Minister, sir, we audience, we are Sierra Leoneans, we are all, most of us in the diaspora, home away from home, and we voice important, and we appreciate you coming to us for can talk to we, because we are part of Sierra Leone, we are part of the growth, we are part of the movement, we are part of the change, and we want good things then for happen in our country, where we self go able to go back, for go give back and develop the country, for go get a very happy and beautiful country in the end. Because on a promise we say, on a get the change, the people agree to the promise and they stand by una, and the people of Sierra Leone say we want the change, and una promise we say change, transparency and all things. But now this bill don't come one, I want can put. So I want to make you tell the people they are do quick. Then what's in this bill here, so what's in the inside this bill here, so, and why the urgency of now? Why now? Is this a pressing matter? Why now that this bill must go to Parliament? Where issues, there other issues that they on the side, as Sierra Leoneans are saying, were very important to the livelihood of people, where una don't overlook for sake of, for push this bill go before. So Mr. Minister, I give you the floor, sir, and the audience that they listen to me. So go ahead, please. Thank you.
For this day, I see the intro quite loaded, but I mean, that's good. We've been getting a very long moment now carrying the streets. His Excellency go visit. We all know say na the newest district, that one of the newest. So the president will go go get a first-hand account of what's in the happen there, so that the administration go able to see how go work with the people of Caribbean for bringing them up to other districts there in terms of infrastructure, in terms of addressing the key and critical needs there. So from there, may go McKinney, because I also be need for engage the people of McKinney on this same cybercrime bill. I be need for engage them on other issues relating to government and all ends in the day. I just literally reached here 5-10 minutes ago. Before then, I remember 2:53 Sierra Leone time, actually sent a message, a WhatsApp message to who, indicating that I might run a little late. This was around 2:53 as well. I mean, part of the thing for sure, say I come slightly late. Yeah. So I'm glad for the now. So how did we get to where we are now? Where the previous government landed the fiber cable in SALONE in 2013, before they land the World Bank been telling say now a couple of things then they wait for the condition precedents there, or at least wait for do together with landing a cable. Because once you land a cable, you are opening up the country to ICT, to the global digital community. So you can forget the infrastructure, you can forget the ecosystem, right, in terms of regulations and legislation. So government been expected at the landing of the cable in 2013, A, get a cybercrime bill in place, cybercrime law, yeah. B, electronic law, C, data protection and privacy law, D, electronic communications law. So then 14 and then go help for build the ecosystem. Government been expected for doing that in there since that in 2013, right? Well, one of people do a lot of things with them. There was even an amount of something like $300,000 set aside for them consultancy work, and then they forget them paper, and they do the paperwork and all that. Fast forward 2018. No, okay, but just before then, the same previous government under former President Nkrumah insisted as a person go to African Union. Now the African Union meeting, it commits a sign up to what they call the Malabo Accord. The Malabo Accord done around 2011, a sign up. Now the African Union standard that one day for cyber crime and data protection and privacy. So Sierra Leone sign up to that one day. The other thing we will sign up to now the ECOWAS directive. As an ECOWAS member state, will bound by ECOWAS directives. Then, so the ECOWAS directive on cybercrime and data protection. Then, of course, in 2018, with President Bio came, we said don't sign up to the Commonwealth Declaration. All lens here are global standards, best practice for cybersecurity and data protection. So when me come, I go one of the African Union ministerial summit today. It was a moment of naming and shaming. Then put the PowerPoints up. The countries that we don't ratify, we don't domesticate them provisions they don't sign up to. Sierra Leone, unfortunately, the name and shame we say we will not sign after the Jamboree in Addis. We don't do nothing about that. So I make a passion in this case. as a look, we're a new government. Whatever happened in the past is water under the bridge. We committed for right then, wrong then, and therefore, I asked for support for let us support Sierra Leone. Law able build with cybersecurity infrastructure, from regulations, from having a national cyber and security incident response team, and all ends in it. So, at that conference, because the plea was very passionate and compelling, the Council of Europe, they say, okay, Sierra Leone get a good case, we had them at the right place, then we'll support you for build that ecosystem. So, Council of Europe they agree for support we, because now they support Ghana, they support Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, but other countries in the sub-region for put their legislations there and support their training, capacity building, and even the hardware for managed cybersecurity and related issues. So we invite them then good technical support. They send somebody here who has practiced in the US, for example, as an attorney, dealing with NCND for 15 years, prosecutor, and other people then from the European Union, then Council. This was all expense paid under the GLACY Plus program. Then lodge, we bring people then together from the Bar Association. Yeah, so when they say we're not consulted, it's not true. Now I have firm evidence that they were consulted. They attended the consultations at Radisson Blue. The law officers department been did it, civil society been did it, political parties were there. They even made statements as a matter of fact, right? Amongst others. So after then 3 days of consultation, we been come back and put the draft instructions together to the law officers department for let them take appropriate action. So first, I want to dispel the misinformation, say there were no consultations. There were consultations from inception, right? And after our common Radisson, with the draft instructions, we consult twice, we get validation sessions there, now Country Lodge Hotel and Radisson Blue will bring the same set of people there again, civil society, and other people there. We'll get lawyers, the Sierra Leonean lawyers, and we'll look at this bill apart from law officers department and make an input. But more importantly, after that one day, we don't consult parliament. Go parliament, we don't get two legislative meetings there. And the minority leader, Honorable Chair Norma Juba, said in Toxi, indeed, we don't consult parliament twice. But add on to that, or before that, parliament been in at the initial consultations, who hold the Council of Europe. Parliament done in all the other validation sessions there, who don't call, and they don't make speeches there on behalf of the political parties. So where I go during the second reading for with them in the Ask Q&A sessions, somebody move a dilatory motion, say a good law will reach out more, law reach out more, we raise more awareness around this bill, we consult where we get good alternative views there, we'll bring out for inform the bill. So just follow and understand, say, this bill, nobody knows sit down at the comfort and convenience of the building office and drafter, or at the comfort and convenience of your home and drafter.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Minister.
Let's learn this one properly.
Okay.
Let's get the proper launch, then we'll get. Yeah. Okay. So that was how we got there. But why government thinks it's very compelling for do this bill now, right? Because we suppose we don't do one since 2013, like I say. You ask why now? Yeah, we get majority of our citizens then age between 18 to 35. Then they use one form of digital communication or the other. They then have various social media platforms. As a responsible government, the compelling responsibility for protecting citizens then both on and offline, right? We will take over government. Social media presence, active social media users now be around 6%. So they don't grow to 9%. And we believe, say, in coming days, weeks, and years, that one therefore exponentially grow. So, the day of planning is different from the day of battle. We also are aware, say, in 2008, one major cocaine play in land at SALONE, because we're not being getting law there for try there, we run all over the place, until we put a law in place for able to try there. And cocaine trafficking, this is not global crime, and this transnational crime there, just like cyber crime, right? So that's my intro. So as a government, just like how they protect the citizens offline, we get a responsibility for protect them online as well. So this bill is born out of that historical redress since 2013 and all ends in it. you are now aware of cyber crimes then. I mean, this is not new. Once they use digital equipment then, cyber crimes then will ban for begin to speak about it. Let nobody not think we're a small country. The time is not now. I don't hear read this one. This is very sad. Okay, people in soccer say we're a small country, cyber crime and okay. Would have been a member so we go land the biggest cookie, one of the biggest cocaine plane and over 600 kilograms of cocaine. We're a small country. In fact, in cyber situations, in digital space, then they look for the weakest spots, right? They say the chain is as strong as its weakest link. Then they look for the weakest spot for launch attacks there. And once we begin use with cyberspace now, for example, we get cyber criminals and now they begin attack other countries there. Now SALONE and the retaliator will probably go suffer something like denial of service and boku other thing there. You know, but we're going to
make your case, Mr. Minister, a very good. We need cybercrime for protect with people. But then a lot of people then get concerned with waiting then they inside the bill. And one of the things they when they talk of now with freedom of speech. And people then concerned say this bill here where and they make so now for target and silence the people and the press. And because I don't kind of frustrated with what they happen on social media, therefore una want rush this bill without una not go through the detail of the bill for let the people they understand say then freedom of speech they are sick, because that's one of the concerns of many legal minds and many people them whether even Professor Kutubu make an audio where kind of talk on that day. So that then the fear of us, because me Naya I sit on social media, right? And I can say something, sometimes the government's not like or whether against the government. But then I'm afraid for going to Freetown. Freetown is my home. Freetown is where my people are. Freetown are them in the bell. But then I will be afraid to go to Freetown because maybe I don't know if I don't talk something where somebody not like where they interpret that law. And you know, we not get independent people that we go handle this. We not say we court system, they're not independent, then they middle, then chamber. So today Uda young person then a power, it go judge what they call the police, them we see saying the same thing and they do. So how you go assure we when they talk on freedom and rights of people and try for talk for let change go come, where it not go affect we tomorrow, where go bet we tomorrow, we go afraid for say we afraid for going to our country and we're not supposed to be like that. So how you go assure we when they at the social media say this is not about shutting us up, but this is about protecting the people of Sierra Leone?
Yeah, so I honestly, I don't know why I not start with this. I want to commend Una. Instead of relying on gossip, half truths and what have you, Una take the moral high ground and invite me for let we get this exchange. I think say Una do the rights and property. The other question they were like for ask people there. But I ask you said don't see the bill, you don't read them?
I don't. It's 30 pages. I not done all of, but I begin as I kind of like.
Well, this conversation, yeah, you don't spot to this conversation.
I mean, they don't all the two man there, and then say don't look them. They don't look and then look and pass me.
Okay, all people then they don't look at the bill.
Yes, they don't read them.
We can have a conversation. When person not read the bill, it's difficult to forget. And then
I don't look some stuff today. I look some stuff today. Yes, I look some
because
stuff
you know
today.
we all go school, we all they read, we all they understand differently. Then they make walk in the same class.
Yeah.
We then go exam, all man they get different grade. You understand? Eh? So yes, I don't listen to people that not read them, who they not read them. Talk about freedoms. I want I see the people that want to see on the video. Now people that are ageable enough and then stay engaged with Sierra Leone. I want to assure Una, and again somebody has to tell me. In the recent history of this country, I don't see no government who don't give so much freedoms to the media, to the press, reach President Bill. President Bill, now one of the people that where the press bastardized, they vilify, they all kinds in the do. They painted him literally black in the course of his campaign as candidate Bill. But still, because they believe that the press gets a vital and critical role to play in national development, now they make what it come, right? So look, we are repealing the criminal libel. Many felt it was a joke. A law with almost like age mates. Yeah? Now in repeal them. In spite of your personal apprehensions we get in your history with the media, but it believes that the media gets a critical role for play. So this government, which is so very heavy on freedoms, on rights, fundamental freedoms, not going to be the government for take away any of those. What will be to do the state of emergency, the curfew and anything for come fight the COVID-19, you know. But people that say they go for whole opposition people there. Now for that, we not say that. And listen to 1, 2 of now. They said all of that. President Bill and possibly believe in fundamental rights and freedoms of citizens there. Now that means throughout COVID, nobody wants to use that. Nobody no one day use that. Nobody no one day abuse their power, right? For arrest opposition, for silence people, for clamp down on dissent. That is not in the anatomy of President Bill and this government, right? So not do that. Where the state of emergency elapsed, other administrations for don't get the proclivity and for go renew and extend that. So will they extend and COVID not do it? But so no, we did that for make sure say we able to get a strong hand for able to fight the COVID. Again, because of good leadership, the world don't recognize Sierra Leone say we don't do very well. The whole manager will be rated even ahead of Una and US in terms of leadership will provide the tough right decisions that will take for manage this disease here. So now we don't hopefully want on the curves. There's now a vaccine. We continue for encourage people for respect all the Ministry of Health and NACOVAC restrictions there, social distancing, wear face masks, hand washing, hygiene, and all of them things they will continue. Maybe as at the address when I got me waiting now, even though I don't think before those, but still we are told we have to continue to do that. So this government not going to think out anybody in fundamental freedoms, in rights, and what have you. Law will say, just for anchor that one, if we go a little bit more into that. When you look at this bill, in this bill, this is an overall improvement on the criminal justice regime in SALONE. Because as it is now, anybody who don't get interaction with Sierra Leone, as it is now, right? If you feel hot, if the police they investigate something, let us say something related, they need your machine, your computer, or your mobile phone. All thing they need for do now for write to the current happen, then they just write to the operator then. They say, investigate Mr. Mohamed Rahman, so I want all in call log then. We want ABCD, whatever. Yeah, that is what happens now. And it has been like this since the start of times, since we joined the digital world. But this bill, they say, you know, that one they're too susceptible to abuse. So have to do now. Law not left for the fate of fellow citizens there, now policeman hand at all times. Law now make sure say a judge now for force grants you a warrant as an officer. If you do an investigation, Fadima, for example, if now you didn't investigate, and this is what happens in the US, or for land duty, just in case you want to challenge me on this. Even in the US, whether they investigate and want for do something data, you go to a judge, you obtain a warrant, and if you read this bill, for example, it scrupulously laid down the processes, the procedures, and the powers. So you obtain, first they can't tell the judge, so look, I'm investigating Fadima. We believe say the whole in computer, the whole critical evidence for the support will case in a court. That judge therefore be convinced before he grants that warrant. And you say the police officer, they are clearly prescribed processes and procedures, limited powers now. If in the court you go out of your way, the same bill they are on at the top, there's an offense for that and prescribed punishment for that as well. Right? This is not the first time they happen in the history of the law.
Okay.
This is the first time in the history of criminal justice jurisdiction, what have you, where they see even the law enforcement, then say the hands tied. This now because we believe say people their rights, their human rights, their fundamental human rights, and all lengths and they're very, very important. Right? So that idea they say is curtailing individual freedoms now for journalists. Now we repeal criminal libel law. This bill is not about journalists. This bill is about the generality of anybody where they interact in digital space, right? Not exclusively journalists. Let we get to that one.
Okay, yeah, it's not exclusive journal. Thank you for clarifying that part. But I get another scenario here.
Oh,
okay,
yeah, sure.
You talk of the police. The police has the right. People there, we not say they go lie on people them. We not say people they not like people them because we get that culture there in we. Now me then a power, I will show you that be so tell I mass you foot wrong or I do this wrong. The policeman can go in a court, he go take warrant, they can't do for plant evidence from people then. How can the citizens be assured that they're not going to able to do that thing, that they no loophole, no, they will not get infrastructures in place, and will not get the right tool them for do basic investigation, let alone the sophisticated investigation then they, because it's scary. We get for be afraid. We get for be very afraid. That's why I am bringing these questions, and I know say me other guests, me other people then they say they want let ask. I want to give the people a rest we mind, assure we that assurance.
And the process, law not join the scaremongering brigade. Law not join the scaremongering brigade.
Okay.
You don't valid thing. You don't raise a very valid concern. You know, again, I be asked if you don't read the bill clearly make provision for the incident. I appreciate the admission, say don't read it. If you read the bill very, very clear. If na your computer, in fact, the only circumstance where they're able to take your computer away. Now in the circumstance where they're not able to get the data without taking the computer away, right? So, number one, before they left your place, anything, again, this is a new dawn. SALONE want for be a civilized country under this new leadership. If they encounter your place, anything and they take it, they're supposed to take an inventory. The law they prescribes that they will give you that same inventory, the content and whatever it is, sign up to them. So that's the way they talk about evidence plans, not the happen. Okay. Nobody's going to do that. The law clear. You know, this law, they're not sit down at a village and write it. Now, some of the best legal brains they don't they deal with cyber crimes in other parts of the world, including the US, as prosecutors and what have you, and then put this law together. Council of Europe, African Union, ECOWAS. This is like a product of all the engagements in it, right? And where we do law, we're not a member of that. I might not be minister somebody. I want to let this law able to protect me. When we repeal the criminal libel law, now we make sure that you make a good law with in power, so you left power safe, it protects you. So then fears and the way you get so unfounded. The law carefully and very scrupulously make provision for the incident.
Yeah, if the law makes the provision, but are they gonna go according to the law? Because we know.
No. So let's talk about this.
We have to talk about these things.
So Fadima, that is why we are getting it all.
I want to let you guarantee let you guarantee we as people of Sierra Leone that will not happen under your watch. And then you pray it will not happen in the next administration to come.
No. So let us get this one right. If not the bill would they talk about, many people don't make this bill look like a monstrous bill.
Yes.
That's why we are provisions. Well, now I gotta say, I don't challenge you, anybody where they listen to me, this bill not get monstrous provisions.
Okay.
This bill, human rights, freedoms, and data protection, they are the very heart of this bill. Now that make even within the bill, they get a lot of checks and balances. Just for make sure say that is not in danger. As to the police where they're afraid, as to the judiciary where they're afraid, well, whether fortunately or unfortunately, now they will get. I know say there are a lot of reforms going on in both the police and the judiciary, but this is what we have, right? Now they will get. You know, they change the whole police. You know, they change the whole judiciary because they are introducing a new cyber crime bill. We will do best as a government. I want to guarantee every Sierra Leonean. But look, people that may get apprehensions. We did not abuse the state of emergency. We did not abuse the curfew. People that may get apprehensions. Say now big talk when they talk for repeal criminal libel. We did it. This is a government who gets integrity. We have Sierra Leone at heart, and we respect the inalienable and fundamental rights of every Sierra Leonean, irrespective of disagreements. I mean, that is the beauty.
I take your word for that, Mr. Minister. I take your word for that. And talk to the people of Sierra Leone. Mr. My co-host them. Una Sef join this conversation. Mr. Shilon, Mr. Kutubu, Nado Yeri, waiting the minister don't talk first. But I know say Una Sef get issue with the bill, and let we bring on to the minister, let the minister try for explain to the people, because this is out there and this is social media review, and we listen to the groups. We they pass over 30 groups that we listen to people talk, and we listen what they go around. But it's good we have the horse here from the horse's mouth itself. Let it put we to rest. Let we understand what's in this thing here. So and how we they go forward with them. So I pass them back to Una. Any one of Una can take them first. Let Una Sef join this conversation, please.
Mr. Minister, Mr. Shilon, I just get one or two questions for you.
Sure, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I listened to your statement. Mostly, this is a matter of getting clarification and understanding.
God bless
And also to determine how extensive are we prepared for the implementation of such laws. For example, you say people will put this law together for Sierra Leone, include certain people, even a cyber law or prosecutor, former prosecutor of over 20 years in the United States, which is wonderful. I think that's the way it should be. I'm not so sure if just one person, because even in the United States, because that's the guy you talk to. You come across as an extremely informed, well-educated, convincing person. But reasonable minds can differ. So if we
absolutely. I like that.
If we bring just one expert,
not to just one person, sir. Sorry for cutting you. Not to just one person.
Well, you say one lawyer from when I
no, and lead the team. Who bring a team of 3. And then not sit down, do it exclusively. They work through the law officers department at Sierra Leone, taking on board we own various, the ground norm, the constitution, the Criminal Procedures Act of 1965, and then not to one person sit down put them together. Now be
yeah, because in law, then kind of a lawyer, when I need experts, so that was very great. My concern is, no law can be drafted perfectly.
Absolutely.
If a law can be drafted perfectly, there will be no disagreement in court or differences of opinion. Forget part of the structure, because you talk about Sierra Leone was way behind since 2013 when other country then catch on. But so it was kind of embarrassing. That's an unfortunate situation. But my concern is when these laws are put together, as you say, let me use, for example, the cocaine law. The cocaine importation, the illegal importation in Sierra Leone, the biggest cocaine bust. You mentioned that there was will not be get cyber law. Therefore, it was difficult to prosecute the people. Now, do I understand that to mean they were not prosecuted?
No. So my point was not cyber law as say. Would not be get relevant laws then for transnational crime like cocaine trafficking, who you describe one of the biggest busts there in West Africa. Will not be get appropriate laws there for talk about that. All this all they talk about cocaine trafficking, drug trafficking. We felt as we were a small nation, we would not get to that point. So when we got it, when we had the landing here, we were cut pants down. So we'll go for run all over the place for enact a new legislation for trying people that but we were literally cut pants down.
Okay, with all due respect,
yes, sir.
Couldn't we have tried those people? I know I'm for go off the subject matter, but couldn't they have been tried under existing laws? Like we'll get drug laws like marijuana, and the elements of the crime for possession, sale, distribution of marijuana under the general definition of drugs. Couldn't those guys have been tried under the existing laws at the time?
Well, the legal experts felt they were grossly aimed. Those laws were grossly behind times. They were grossly inefficient. They were inadequate to try, transnational organized crimes like those under it.
Okay.
So they put law in place.
Okay, it does sound to me like there were no existing laws that had adequate punishment for the level of crime, but they are definitely based upon what you can get. It seems like they could have been tried, but that said, that is what's under the bridge. This existing law, as you have it, sometimes laws get unintended consequences.
Agreed.
You will agree with me.
Absolutely.
Okay. So then we have a constitutional democracy. Am I right, sir?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So the Constitution gives certain guidelines, certain basic rights to citizens. So like you defined a few minutes ago, say the police get the right or the power for obtain a search warrant of some sort from a judge and then go for try for search. Now, in the United States, we get, first of all, the police get for established probable cause, then that will probably cause only to arrest, or not only to stop, I'm sorry. Then the police go beyond that, forget reasonable and articulable suspicion that a crime is being committed, which that person they get for present to a judge, convincingly for a judge for issue an order of search. With regard to that individual when they go search, they get basic protection under the Constitution. So what would draft this law? The cyber law, my suggestion were for taking into account very serious sections of rights guaranteed to citizens as to how to go about that. Let's do a loaded question, give you my opinion, then you can address all. Now, we cannot assume that judges are so well informed that we not get for set guidelines. Parliament get for set guidelines as to what elements have to be fulfilled for the police to present to a judge, who in turn issues an order, taking into account the constitutional protection of the citizen before a search is conducted. So what would they talk about putting the infrastructure together? We cannot just put infrastructure based on the fact that other countries have done that. We have to put infrastructures together based upon the constitutional guarantees by we own constitution.
Absolutely.
My fear is the unintended consequences. For example, the law, in my view, they will say take section 25, because you get the advantage of having been part of the creation of it to this point. So you know I'm far way past way. So you can be a good interpreter. Now, but section 25 talks about everything, but what concerns me are then it says, section 25 says, it says such fine or term of imprisonment as the minister may, by regulation made under this act. How can a law be based upon what an individual who is the minister, what relevance should the minister have in such a drafting? Shouldn't that be under a general definition of violation of law? And instead of say as the minister, and what may be offensive, criminal to a minister may not be of the same nature to an individual or anybody else. So putting that phrase there or that statement there in this law, you think that's a wise thing? And if it is
Thank you very much.
Under cyber laws them of other countries, I still will question that.
Thank you very much. I mean, that's a very legitimate question. I don't know. I have been meeting with various interest groups, including the Bar Association. So I told the Bar Association, I gave them the original draft instructions we gave the law officers department. That was never there. I think no minister, not even me, no ministers, past, present, and future, should wield such powers. It should be clearly articulated in the body of the bill, and I have since advised Parliament that I don't want to wield those powers, and no minister, in my view, should wield those powers. That was a draft, whatever it is, but in the original draft that we have shared with Bar Association, that was not there. I still my considered opinion that no minister, not me, not you, not any other future minister should wield such powers. That's a very valid point. All the offenses and the sanctions should be in the body of the law, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, it might be very, very susceptible to abuse, if not now, but probably in the future. It should not be there, and Parliament has accordingly been advised. So it will not be there that way. So you have spoken about our criminal justice regimes.
Yeah.
One of the key things that guided this law was the 1991 multi-party constitution of Sierra Leone, right? I mean, this is where you have enshrined the rights of citizens, their fundamental human rights, right? That is being noted, and it is a major bedrock of this law. The 1965 Criminal Proceedings Act was also taken into consideration when this law was drafted. You talk about rules to guide judges. Well, that is why in the law, in the final part of the bill, the minister shall make regulations to give effect to the implementation of this law, right? That is where things like putting together rules of electronic evidence comes in. And that is where greater consultation will be needed with the Bar Association, with other groups who are specialists in doing that. So we take that point. They are very valid concerns, but it was never the intent of this minister or this government to give overarching powers to anybody, right?
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Now, the other issue, I get to section 25. If you look at the general body of that section, you say a person, including a corporation, partnership, or association who intentionally and without authorization causes a computer system to perform a function with intent to secure access to the whole or part of a computer system. Let me stop right there. Overall, now let me tell you the problem we have with that construction. The draftsmanship seems to be kind of poor in this sense. Because
I don't know about that, but I'll take.
Well, let me tell you why. No, I'm giving you my basis. Because it's overly broad, it's kind of vague. I mean, it doesn't specifically define from whom do you obtain in permission, and how do you go about obtaining permission to do what, if in fact it can be done. So how can you obtain permission to commit a crime? It's not clear to me. So let's say.
Yeah, so I take that point. The sweeping dismissal, that is poor draftsmanship, I don't quite get that because I understand it otherwise.
Okay, that's good. Again, I told you, reasonable men can differ, so it's good for us to differ.
Yeah, no, the reference is good. I'm fine. A person, including the corporation, partnership, or association, who intentionally or without authorization causes. You have heard about data breaches with Facebook, with other social media platforms before, right? Yes. Countries have taken them to court. You use people's data, you access it without authorization, it is talking that kind of thing. That's what I understand.
Well, you just defined the law to me. That's what it should say. That's exactly, if that were in there, to make it a better section. Just what you just said.
Well, so that is why the law is...
It should not be left open-ended.
The law is interpreted. The law is interpreted by competent persons, not a layman like me.
Oh, no.
If as a layman, I'm able to get that understanding, then I'm convinced beyond doubt that trained minds, legal minds, whose business is to interpret the law, should be able to do a better job of it than me. It's just legalese.
Okay, well, legalese tramples on people's rights if it is poorly drawn. I mean, you and I will agree that just because you're a lawyer doesn't necessarily qualify you to understand, not to draft laws. Everybody get their own specialty in this. It's just like being a doctor. You're a doctor, but that doesn't mean you can perform brain surgery. That doesn't mean you can perform urological problems. It's just what I'm saying. So lawyers in general are well educated, no question about it. But there are specializations that we will be mindful of. So it would be good to get people with background. So when you talk about the infrastructure, to me, that should be part of the infrastructure, trying to get people who specialize. Not only that, but also you need to have lawyers, and don't fool ourselves, lawyers, including the law officers department.
They have trained draftsmen there. They put this together.
What my point is,
I'll raise your issue with them. I'll raise your concern with them.
They should be trained how to prosecute, how to implement the law, and they should be trained as to how to follow certain guidelines or certain. Just because you're a lawyer doesn't mean you know it all. I
totally agree with that.
The law is
totally agree with that. So part of the components before implementation of this bill is we are going to support the training of law enforcement officers, the police, and we're also going to support the judicial capacity building. That is going to happen. I mean, this is a fairly new realm. Digital evidence, admissibility, protection, generation, and all of those things. So we agree that there's a compelling need for training, and that is already a component of this process. Training will be offered to all key partners who will be dealing with this law, from law officers, through to the judiciary.
Okay. Also, Mr. Minister, just for food for thought, don't you think there's a little problem with respect to the implementation of this law and many other laws in Sierra Leone where touch on constitutional rights? For example, at the moment, the way the system is structured and the constitution is written, they say all matters of constitutional issues, these are the paraphrase, can originally be raised at the Supreme Court level. Now, so what happens when you violate the constitutional rights at the start? I don't get access to the constitution, mean a poor man, you know, you can't search me house because you think say I get drugs. You don't find any drug. You don't violate my privacy. You don't do all of that.
This is not about drugs, sir.
I not seem to get access to the court at the first stage when a magistrate court. I not get access to the court at the next stage when a high court. I not get access to the court at the next stage when the Court of Appeals, because they say, oh, if I want to raise constitutional issue, if I want to raise a constitutional issue such as violation of my right, the law says only when they reach Supreme Court. I don't have to take my case to Supreme Court.
I have good news for you. I think say we now we for the talk about Antona, Lona understand say Sierra Leone is moving forward even if in a zigzag manner. For the very first time, we'll get the presence of magistrate courts in every district, including the newest districts. Magistrate courts then they sit there. Every district gets a high court session now, right? The Naramik recently, you find out, so they recruit more judges there for make sure, say, access to justice will improve. Again, you get the Legal Aid Board. The Legal Aid Board, they for support indigent persons, then kind of people that we describe so. Indigent persons, then people that are poor, they don't get access, they don't get money. Legal aid, they help them. Various other outfits, then like that one, they team up for Justice Day. Then they prosecute matters there on behalf of poor people there, and then kinds of apart from taking justice closer to them at the various district levels. A very valid point you raise. This I understand. They talk about the infrastructure, meaning even the people there, the courts there. But like I say, now they will get now. We cannot take those powers from them for give them power then they to herbalist them, for example, or to teach them, for example. It's got to be the police. It's got to be judges. Naramik would put premium on training them, on preparing them for this new dawn. But your points that are not there.
Okay, sir. But one quick point, what I want for raise, what I don't want to let you lose sight of. Constitutional issues, I think Parliament should amend the Constitution to the extent that it says matters of constitutional issues can only be raised at the first time at the Supreme Court level. It should be modified to read that can be raised from the moment a person.
They happen.
Yeah. Because the Constitution.
I take that point. I'm not particularly vast for the Constitution, so I'm not the pretend for offer solutions, but I just please for telling us say for an 80-man constitutional review committee where the previous administration may take over, where they may set up. Remember that? Yeah, we'll go around the country for solicit views on review the 1991 constitution. Billions and billions were spent on that thing. With the white paper, the previous government dismissed all of the Justice Cowan recommendations and they reject all. Remember that?
Yes.
Remember that. So President Bill will be the campaign and say, we go revisit her. Please for tell when I say indeed, cabinets don't review their recommendations a day. We think it's a very valuable thing and they will be come from members of the public and cabinet don't review her. We will soon issue a white paper telling Sierra Leoneans that the one they would adopt moving forward. So a lot of progress they happen. You will be very pleased we'll publish a white paper stating which recommendations of the Justice Cowan Commissions of Inquiry will take on board and going forward. So yes, boku improvements and don't deny. We are not there yet. I mean, I'm not gonna tell when I lie. We still struggle with a lot of things there, but there's a lot of work going on in terms of reforms there for protect citizens and rights there, and for ensure say we protect the human rights of every Sierra Leonean.
Professor
Professor Kutubu,
Thank you. Thank you.
back there.
Mr. Minister, we don't hear so much about the crime, but now we look at another angle, and there are two angles that they bring in here. The Commission of Inquiry, the government is set. It's like way before they even be talk about impeachment in this country also. You know, the Commission of Inquiry, the government has told us about white paper. We know they see white paper is not coming out. And then waiting even we see where they do a bit disturbing. When they talk about okay, your ABC they don't pay, we don't know what they don't pay, they don't pay, what they don't pay, they don't pay. We've been expected by now, everybody where they suspect, see where they say being involved in financial, whatever it is, their names have been published, people who don't pay, whatever, because it's not public business, not to team, not to all your business. They get for get out there for the public, after all now we will be having that work.
Sure.
So that again, that they don't raise a lot of fundamental troubling question, where even they question the seriousness of the government in fighting corruption. But then for juxtapose this discussion with another angle again, where actually don't make the government is not looking good now. The question where we were posed to, which is so pernicious about holding elections, local elections on partisan basis, just they can't ignore them all along. Why now we come up with a caveat? Why people they get for hold local government elections just in the math? The downside to that, if I can indulge me very quickly, two of the very good friends them, Nicky left for bring the arguments in terms of historical connections. Two of the very good friends, and one named Kwame Nkrumah, he started this dictatorship here, where it became Ghana itself. Ghana became Kwame Nkrumah, grabbing every power because I've been the road to the dictatorship. My other friends, again, when I've been General Ignatius Kutu camp on Ghana, when I've been the military head of state, where he begin strive for democracy, and he come up with a very funny concept we call Unigov. Unigov means we just come together with the soldier man, the policeman, students, agriculturalists, Omolake driver, all the solo no whole partisan elections there. So, Mr. Minister, with all due respect, you don't think this that road is to dictatorship, or in fact, that road is to even gradually go to one party system, where go make President Bio in position look a bit untenable, considering the fact that April 29, 1992, they find them expedient for remove the APC government because of them kind of the swamp of totalitarian madness where being get injected in the political dispensation of the country. How you look at these issues? I don't put it for you, sir.
Professor Kutubu, I don't listen the grandiloquent high voltage English that way you talk. You never get away without getting troubled by some of those. But don't worry, I like that. So commissions of number one, I want for specifically appreciate your unrelenting interest in war against corruption. We President Bio on wage, and we government a lot of respect. Appreciate you concern all the time. For proceed that one day. The commissions of inquiry, government may not issue a white paper. We ask when there will response to the investigations with the various commissioners do. So that white paper, the implementation they on. Last time I spoke to the Attorney General, that was last week, about 31 property they made up for forfeiture. As by law established, then therefore publish that one in a gazette officially. 31 properties up for forfeiture. Because that among these 31 property them in the way the lawyer then they call na bona vacancia. That means they're not being get owner there. Nobody not come forward and say that may own this. So 31 properties then they up for forfeiture to the state. Down there I hope say that one they clear. They don't come talk on a press conference. But people then don't pay their money them back. But again, Professor Kutubu, this is an ambush. This was not part of the menu. You don't can serve you serving it very hot. This is not on the menu at all. You remember? Yeah, but still, I mean, a valid question. I know say beaucoup people then I for don't let on an occasion like this, let name the people that who don't pay so far the amount of money. But like I said, I just literally 5 minutes now I arrived town. I can't sit down now because I respect on a time, on an interest in all things Sierra Leone. None make a can there. So I'm not gonna put my finger on any amounts now, but I want to assure this body say that list of people that don't pay. Because I mean, we've been there all over the place. On social media, on traditional media, and newspapers, we talk to them people are non-secretary. So if you go secretly, enough for be secret, government for publisher. And I want for commitment say I will ensure that that is published every inch of the way. The people that don't get forfeitures then to the state, the people that don't pay money then back to the state, the people that don't appeal. I think I owe that. I owe Sierra Leoneans that. We will ensure that it's published and published for all to see. Right? That one day on the thing. But I want to assure you and say war against corruption continues unrelenting. The president still gets a lot of appetite for that. He gets a lot of stamina and conviction. Say corruption don't literally hemorrhage this country. Corruption in the very reason way would go to the hellhole that we have been through over the years. So we resolve for fighter has not ended, has not eroded, has not dissipated, has not elapsed. On the other question, sorry, I want to say about small on the side. Mr. Getmina, colleague, one of the people there, strategic communications unit, Mr. Imran Sela. Imran will lead the other discussion on the known and local council elections. Mr. will come in for help out permission.
Okay, that's fine. Imran, come on down. Thank you.
Yeah, Imran, come on. Yeah, thanks.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Mr. Imran. Welcome to VOS. This is the voice of SALONE. Thank you for joining the minister for let we understand, because they deal with the social media and beaucoup misinformation they come out and we want to clarify. So Professor put the question down there about this local government where una say they for make a non-partisan. And some people are concerned, but that is who that get for pick who that them go represent the people. Okay, now neck go get for responsible for that. And we all know, na Frito, we all know na SALONE say, for the longest time, business as usual, everybody they pick side, everybody picking favorites, the nepotism and all that kind of crap they happen. So how the people them, if una pull waiting them, they don't get all these years for this local council say they're not for beep and party. If una pull all that, they how una go guarantee with the people of Sierra Leone say, now the right people then go able for run for the election year. As Professor they bring and say it go down the path to one party system that people go just choose who that they feel for choose, like long term, whether they do election, they say unopposed, nobody not team up against her, that means say he win. So how una go guarantee we that thing they say not to that way they una want go explain to the people of Sierra Leone, please. Let we self understand them, let go carry the message for now.
Well, I tell you plenty, thank you, and thank you for the opportunity. Interestingly enough, whenever you see some of them kind of interpretations them of something way very genuine. So I mean, I'm not accusing of anything. I'm just saying because it's now narrative that I had before. Something, things that were very genuine, way based on evidence, based on facts, where they inform. I mean, the kind of a direction where the vast majority of Sierra Leoneans actually want to take this country to, and that you have a very genuine leader, honest and decent individual in the person of His Excellency the President and government, where they try to reflect some of the aspirations there of the people of this country, the majority. And then you see some other kind of efforts. It gets you, which I will say, frustrated. And here's the reason we make. In 2004, this is not anything to do with politics, by the way. In 2004, by then, it was Emmanuel Gaima who was head of decentralization. This is not something where a lengthy conversation will come, by the way, because we have the historical knowledge and context to everything where they play out so now. In 2004, there was a nationwide consultation. I think by then it was funded by United Nations Development Program. Right, I'll get for check that one particularly, but it was funded and go right around the country. I mean, try to see how they're able for ensure effectiveness and efficiency at local government level. So when they go on and do them consultations there, the feedback they would then get from people there, and then communities, then they would then get councillors and mayors and all that. Overwhelmingly, I think it was by 75% say they would rather have people who are not connected to politics and party, where just they go and go contest, because they sort of feel restricted in a way. Yeah, because I mean, everything therefore be looked at through party political lens at that level, really taking into account efficiency and effective salary. And sometimes they naturally then get people away and see it and say, this is not the fittest person. But maybe in parties keep her for one reason or the other, and ending up forget symbol. So you're not left with any choice rather than for look at that person, even though they get the opportunity also for stand as independent candidate. But it's most often the case that they're not even they succeed as independent candidate. You get them. I mean, in that case, then they few and far between. So then data then there was collected. That was under the late President Ahmed Tijan Kaba. Collected, submitted to the government at the time, and then they try for see if they can push through, right? Then legislation that we would see now, we form this new local council act or something. But waiting stop that process day under the late President Ahmed Tijan Kaba was a certain individual who turned out to be president of the Republic of Sierra Leone from 2007 to 2018. And as by Kroma, by then he was leader of the opposition in the House of Parliament. He raised objections for party political reasons. And when each president came back, now he says, okay. He said, well, Sierra Leone get more pressing things than for dealing with post-war, post-civil conflict. Yeah. After how for bringing national cohesion and peace and all that. It's okay. Let us shelve this exercise. Lord, keep up. Maybe in the future government will be the need for wake out back, dust time, usai then at the shelf, and then follow through on them. Let us leave it. So that was just a political decision that was taken by the late President Ahmed Tijan Kaba, and the context that we just don't come up from a 10-11 year civil conflict. And there are more pressing things in the order of we then call us within the whole government need for do. Fast forward now, within this government do again through the Ministry of Local Government. Now, for do another set of consultations there across the country as to which people then go elect for see at local level, right, in terms of representation for ensure effectiveness in efficient delivery, right, at that level there. And they came out with the same conclusions again in all of them consultations, and both in 2004, even in this one now. Obviously, you get civil society representatives and, local actors, stakeholders. They are all part of them consultations there. We arrived at the same conclusion in excess of 70-75%. Overwhelmingly say, let we depoliticize this level. We want people then we're not necessarily connected to political parties where they come and can contest. So you can imagine, 2004, 2018, a decade after the first consultations nationwide was done, you still arrive at the same conclusion, right? When you do the second set of consultation, I'm sure, albeit with almost different generation, because you talk about 14, 18, I mean, 10, about 14 years space in between. So look, at the end of the day, we know, say, at that local level, people look for representation, right? The feedback we get now that they don't want to necessarily be connected to political parties. Like you example, people in their local council level, we're not councillors there. And because of, you represent a ward and you then a council, una go meetings them, and you get a simple responsibility for taking notes. So they're not sabio, bug it on. You go up kind of, you turn and go up kind on any car you turn on. Then they do not, in fact, understand what's they happen at that level. Number one. Second, if you get a partner with some international organization which has something to do with development, at that level, and you are in those meetings, you are not necessarily going to be able to represent who. Because you're not informed, you do not even know what's happening, you can't even read minutes of meetings and all that. And so, those are real concerns at local level. We probably don't maybe want to get caught up in politics and the political lens for Siam, and not necessarily to look at the administrative and capacity, right, and effective nature, right, in terms of interacting with their communities and make sure so we're able to provide and deliver for their communities. Now that make we get the kind of feedback that we get. So all of those are concerns, and that make me say, okay, let us depoliticize. Look, at the end of the day, in my own view, I mean, once you come to parliamentary level and you have a presidency, I mean, those are clearly stated. You have to belong to a political party. Then you can become a member of parliament. You have to belong to a political party to contest for the presidency. That is enough. End of the day, we all, no matter the political divide we find yourself, every time we talk as to how to depoliticize. No, so when it is good, in good times, that is what we talk about. Yeah. We also talk about how we go able to continue to keep the peace and bring national cohesion in a real and meaningful way. What better way to start than for beginning to depoliticize at local level, the one that they represent people, them as councillors?
Please.
Okay.
Given the level of how we get a place where normally making look at say the vast concourse of the citizenry, say they talk about warehouse of functional illiterates and sea of ignoramus system where fundamentally lacking in capacity for rationalized thinking or put into context and perspective. You not believe in your own candid opinion. You not believe say in fact this very one party system with the adequate. Because when you get people like you just don't describe them, they're not sabi read minutes, they're not sabi do this, they're not sabi do that. So what you get a bunch of house of functional illiterates and you go sit down more na city council say they manage the affairs of people they receive money for them. I mean, why we not go left and that same way? Because the thing is the problem we get, waiting pernicious about we continue for holding here on partisan basis after being a part of the democratic competition. So now that really want to convince me. Say yes, it's very, very pernicious for law continue holding local elections at partisan level. If you're able, cross that bridge, navigate yourself out of that terrain, that's fine.
Again, I think we need to ask ourselves soul-searching questions then, yeah? Are we in this business of politics for nation building, right? And for make sure we improve the communities and this generation and transfer on to the next generation? Or are we in the business of this TSO simply for we strict party political interpretations to every single thing? And if it happened to be the former rather than the latter, then I think, we're supposed to look over and beyond certain things then, right? And see how capable for bring about real and meaningful change and impact the lives of people then across the country. Yeah. And so, look, I think it could be one beautiful way if you talk about which could be the byproducts of having a non-partisan election at local council level, which could be one of the byproduct then. And lasting legacies, it could be the fact that people then now will just come up and go contest, yeah, without having to belong to a political party, without political party. I mean, not forget, say, even the Sierra Leone People's Party, where me belong to and they represent, we also stand for Luso, if not for anything. So this, I mean, it's not as if you're doing it for the sake of trying to negate one great political party and be for. No, every political party get for face. I mean, the same thing. People will go contest at local level, meeting those threshold and then conditions then they, right? And if they win, they win. And they will be able to clearly represent their people in a way they say they want to let them represent them. Don't forget, say, all of them things there, it's about the feedback that you get from a non-white consultation. And true leadership for me is it's not to play to the gallery sometimes, yeah? It's about pushing through, right, with those things that we find necessary and we will bring a meaningful change in that society. They might not necessarily, from a party political level, be comfortable, yeah? But, I mean, they might be necessary for the development of this country. Like given us several examples. In the past, I mean, I'm sure when they talked about bringing NASITs and all them schemes then under the later Metija Kaba, people had their reservations. Not so? But here we are today, a decade after the 10 and day or more, right? We see NASIT in value, right? We see all of the institutional changes and then structures in the Western Metija Kaba being bring about how they the society now. And so I think, say, time and the future, right, could be the greatest vindicator in a sense, that if we have these things in place, and the next 10 to 15 years, naturally, it's about competence now. I don't need to go hide under any political party, right? For one for regional local council, for go serve as councillor, or for go serve as mayor or chairman of a district council. No, it has to be based on my competence, whether I'll be able to deliver. And, you know, I go and put myself forward, and no political party not going to help me. It's about my relationship with people in my community and how they perceive me, and whether they think, say, I'm a me best able to represent them.
Yes,
those are the things then we talk about. I will proceed again.
Professor, no, it's still the same. Yeah. Professor, somebody like you, you know, quite a bundle of years of experience spanning decades. Assume you come home tomorrow. May not know if you get political party leanings, but you look like an equal opportunity blaster. Fair enough. You come home today, you want to participate in the development process at local government level, right? I use you as you, because I know say a whole lot of development experts that across the Saralinians and all they abroad in Kaho. You come home, you want to continue for savvy people, then the experience where you don't get and come back. Why must you be subjected to the torture of political maneuverings, political affairs here and there? So people then they say, look, somebody like you should come back on the basis of your credentials, then you put yourself forward to your people, then trust you, they vote for you. Some parties might not necessarily give you something. Because also go about to, so but I'm also been there. They just come. Now we not effect for this party all these years. Now that make then they say you're in a leaked tape, Mayor Akisoya, yeah, all the party business in the protect. Yeah. If she were in this business on her own merit exclusively, she will not be that determined for the government feeling kind of power. So now the issues than this, you know, this is just an example where Mayor Akisoya alluded to this by her leaked videos. Yeah.
And if I can just add one more thing, it go interest to now for no, I mean, when in terms of data and statistics, yeah, as to the one that will get us councillors where they serve across the country. And this is not in the way, I mean, both parties are, should I say, guilty of or can't do really much about. Yeah? The number of literates, them, people that we can actually read and write, yeah, where they serve as councillors, them. I mean, across the country, if you get them data and statistics, then you could be alarmed, right? And then you naturally go on for ask yourself the question: how does it now affect community development at that level? Yeah? So government can do all the resources, you know, you can get all those structures in place. But in terms of actually having those foot soldiers capable and having the ability, it becomes problematic. So look, I think we've now speak to better angels than in life, yeah? From a party political point, I would say, you know, let's just left all things so. At the end of the day, so people would have all those councillors, now the areas they wouldn't feel comfortable with. The other part, they go all them councillors and wouldn't connect. But no, it should be more than me political party. It's about selling ultimately. I would love to go to communities, them and able for sit down, you get meet with councillors and one day, okay, now me they take minutes. Or then if I even begin to compete amongst themselves for take minutes, yeah. And able for follow through on minutes, yeah. And able for better representing people. Because this is about representation. And I make, we not don't do anything where now we don't generate them. You go through the process and the motions of consultations across the country. The Ministry of Local Government spent about 2 months, if not more, consulting across the country, knowing which in the data have been speak to. In 2004, we President Ahmed Tijanka and Emmanuel Gaima was the head of the Decentralization Commission, knowing all them facts in there. But I said, no. That was a different time. It was in 2004. Let us conduct another one, nationwide consultation. And lo and behold, you come up with the same conclusions then from the people there, including civil society organizations and all of the people and they will be in the day. Now, people want to forget party political lens again, because a certain Ernest Koroma did it as leader of the opposition in 2004, and President Kaba yielded to him because of the background where we come up from, a war, 10 years, civil war and all that in it. In priority, obviously, I mean, for keep the country together and bring peace and national cohesion. And so it's okay, this gets some potential thing for sort of unsettle we considering also don't come out well and good, let us drop it and keep her. 2018, going forward, the people are still getting same aspirations than they. Why can't we, at least for once, just follow through on that? 10 years from this point, 15 years from...
You're so right, Mr. Sorry to interrupt, but you're so right when you say we therefore listen to the people. The people should be part of the process and not just the subject matter. It therefore be part of the process, and the voice of the people very powerful. But then on social media, you get a lot of people too, they say because of the mayor issue from the beginning, with the resistance, with the minister of local government and all this stuff will come on, and this latest video will come out where the mayor been talk to him people them, because as a party person, you talk to your people, say with a fight for win, the political aspect of it, right? Yeah. But then the mayor comes out and apologizes, said, this is not the way I meant it to be. And then you talk again, so also of the people them, when our councillors them, we not even understand for reading right. But what if now them people then they able for deliver the people and business? You might not be able to read and write, but if you eliminate them people and they where they not them place then they where not them village them, maybe they're not able to run the election with finance, but the party will support them with money for go before, because now in the people they want. Because if the party runners waiting the people they want, now they go by, because the voice of the people, the choice of the people, and then people and they were not land book. Okay, they have so much impact and so much good what they don't do for improve their community, just because they might not understand the international place. Why can't they say they have a secretary of that person or somebody else we're go able for interpret for let the posse understand? Because we cannot take away all these people or make and say because them people and they understand for communicating all that, and they then keep communicating other ways. There are many other ways to communicate.
Thank you. I'll bring some clarity to a few things. Number one, when I talk about reading and writing, I've basically been to speak to the conclusions of the report based on the consultations that we didn't get. Okay. So not to Imran's line your individual view, let's just do that disclaimer day before, somehow get for being interpreted for being Imran's line your individual view. Okay. Everyone though they serve now, get the support of them people and a political party based on the system where they're in place. And I'm sure they're providing some form of representation, whatever that may mean. I hope you understand, but didn't endure. I am saying, based on the consultations and the conclusions of the consultations, right, people them, where then councillors and mayors and chairman, then they represent right now. They have all of those where you don't talk so, but then somehow arrive at a different conclusion in terms of which they consider representation for me. So to give themselves the due and respect them, and going forward, see how you be able to try and get a system, right, where clearly they speak to their aspirations for their communities. That is what we're talking about here. And therefore, I think, look, governments and leader, therefore take strong and necessary actions, towards that direction. If we really talk about, talk about development and how we go progress. Look, party political affiliation for me is a conduit for serve, right, the state, and for move and for do public service and for try to move the country forward. If the people then opt and choose a different format at a local level, it's also about representation. It's also about public service. What is best for them? I think that is what we're all supposed to aspire for. And this government, I think, is committed to that process. It has to be said. 5, 10 years, 15 years from now, time definitely will vindicate you. I have no doubt about it. I would love to see Sierra Leone where at that level, people will just go and go do their thing, and they have the representations that they desire, free from party political influence and maneuvers. And you reference even a certain situation. Well, you imagine a situation where even not belongs to a political party. Even for feel the need for go sit down a corner, they hide and they make a statement there. And then somebody been there, they record them and leak them. It is because even in strings, in apron strings, as they can say, tied to a political party, now that make it a power line kind of batting there. I mean, it's a separate thing altogether. Am I surprised? No, I'm not, right? I don't know if I even think, say, anything they even say, which is out of character, if I removed from the two characters of the individual. No. Right? But then it is what it is. Now come back to within at the fundamental issue here. How do we chart a way forward based on consultations, right? We're overwhelming, so not 25 in borderline, overwhelming as to how people in Guam foresee their communities then they move forward. That is the issue, nothing to do with politics. I have seen political parties that don't begin to interpret them differently and get party political lens, but you know, the Americans then can say within politics now the silly season. People then can give every single thing political interpretation because it's about which you like say for get political mileage or for sort of throw spanners into some very genuine efforts and work them for bring about development kind of country. And you know, sometimes we get for disregard the one day and make sure so we do the right thing, right? What we feel is necessary for move this country forward. And President Bio, His Excellency the President, and this government, of which I'm a minister and a part of government, don't always do within and they do as a government conscientiously. They have done it, right, with the people of this country at heart and in mind. They have done it, right, knowing, say, there will come a point in time when we would all not be serving in government. Because this year, not to me papa in will, you all know me daddy in will, now they are done. So they. This not to daddy will business. There will come a time when we'll all be ordinary citizens of this republic, right? And we want them some protections there, right? And that is what we're doing, right? It is for us at a point in time where we're within our position for make sure same laws they are going to protect you.
Mr. Shillong.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I think, you know, I am very much impressed when I hear then kind of a talk there because I think that the sole purpose there and the why people forgo in government to serve. And women are extremely young, bright, ambitious, hopefully progressive people there. So when I forget a vision in mind for the country, and this is what we want to hear. But you know, in America, we get what you call, you can talk the talk, but you also have to walk the walk. So, and talk is cheap, says Englishman. So, and even with the best of intentions, there are times where maybe because of your current circumstances may compel you to do things that are not convenient or with which you are not comfortable. So we know, say there are forces that may tend to pull you counter to your belief system. So all of that said, make I just comment and maybe one quick question and comment then also for the minister. Minister Swaray, but a quick comment to Akisoya in reference to her. We are seeing a trend when I think, say, government forgot against. For the first time, we are hearing about an elected official being pressured into resigning. It's not so much who the individual is as much as the symbolism of it, because if you let that stand, if you let that happen, you set a bad precedent. For just as and sometimes a minority group can be extremely loud depending on which are the megaphone for make it look like things are bigger than they are. But in relation to this cyber law, what I'm looking at when Akisoya is being accused of tribalism, then I begin to wonder, which we use the word loosely, but what is tribalism in Sierra Leone? Is it we'll not get definition for that. And I'm sure all of us are guilty of tribalism in a way if it is a matter of making reference negatively or positively to other tribe. I can give several examples. If I say Fulamandem, they buy the whole country, am I being tribalistic? Or am I being factual? I don't know, it's a matter of opinion. If I say you business tranga, which was common expression like Limbaman dance, am I being tribalistic? And, you know, so we have to be very careful. That's all I'm trying to say with respect to this Akisoya situation. And the troubling part of what you may see is, yeah, you have a male, but I don't know her. I have no reason to speak for her on behalf of her, protect her. But I'm looking at the totality of the situation and the country as a whole in the spirit of what Una just expressed, since we look at promoting Sierra Leone. And we all live on this earth, so even in our presence or after we die, we will be judged by our deeds, not necessarily by the few mishaps or misspoken things that we might have said in our privacy or elsewhere. So if you look at the general record of Akisoya, I don't think any reasonable person would deny the fact that she may be very well the most progressive mayor Australian will ever see or Freetown will ever see. Should that all be cast aside because she made one slip? Should we judge, and would that among we want to be judged not by all the totality of your activities and sayings in this world, but just because you say one thing we're not comforting or welcoming by others?
Okay, so thank you so very much for that. So if I'm in your position.
Okay, Mr. Minister, make I interrupt you one thing, not throw one question so you can answer all at one time. Okay? Please, if you don't mind. Then sure. I would just want to refer to section 42 also of this cyber law. Because I want to revisit them. Because they address racism, not tribalism, something where pertinent to we own social structure. I don't know why racism is so more important, and then we leave an issue because we get different tribes. Tribalism is not an issue as yet, but if we talk about the future, why is it not included in this section? With the talk about xenophobia, where simply by definition is showing dislike of people from other countries, which I don't think is common practice, as we saw in South Africa, where recently they attacked Nigerians them out of so-called economic necessity. So I just wonder, or I just suggest, or I just reference the vision or the lack of thoughts being put into that section 42 there. I hope that, and it may be very much issues with other countries, but I'm not so sure xenophobia and racism is a major issue in Sierra Leone, and tribalism is not. So I turn it over to you, sir.
Okay, so I think let's start with the last. I'll note the concern, but if you read the section 42.1, that's the way they talk about. You look section 42.1b. You read them in conjunction with the everything. It also addresses your own issue. For example, a person including a cooperation partnership or who with intent threatens through a computer system or network any other person or group of persons for the reason of belonging to a group distinguished by race, color, descent, national or ethnic origin, as well as religion, insults publicly, blah, blah, blah. So it really takes care of that.
But ethnic origin is not synonymous with because I don't necessarily think a tribe is necessarily ethnicity, denote ethnicity. I'm just, again, I know the tribe.
No, I note your concern.
Okay.
Well, right. Again, you did talk about the intendment of the law.
Yeah.
The intent of the law.
Yeah.
So that is where the interpretation comes in.
Okay.
Like I said, this is tackling cybercrime requires international cooperation. You have to have a law that fits on both ends, because you might require international cooperation to support you. They are not concerned about your tribalism. We are concerned about our tribalism. They are concerned about xenophobia, right? They are concerned about the other things that matter to them. We are also concerned about the other things that matter to us. Yeah? So that is why we have both in one pot, if you like.
Okay, but if an offense takes place in Sierra Leone, it has to be prosecuted in Sierra Leone. Because Sierra Leone will get both the subject matter and the personal jurisdiction of the person. So I was wondering, are you saying the word tribe or tribalism for the foreseeable or unforeseeable future is not relevant to be put into this section?
No. So I note your concern. Okay. What I'm like I said, cybercrime is transnational, right? Okay. So because it's transnational, you might have to deal with things like those as well.
All right.
Yeah, that's the point. On the Akisoya thing, you have made a lot of very brilliant statements around that. The only thing that I did not see you or hear you make is to condemn it first. When you sit in a towering position like that, there are some slips that you must not do, right? Tribalism is wrong. It has not helped us.
How do we define tribalism? How do we define when?
No, let's leave the schematics. Let's leave the academic schematics. You and I know what it is, and I'm sure your fellow panelists.
I honestly don't know. That's why I gave this example.
I'm sure your fellow panelists clearly understand that when you segregate deliberately against an ethnic group, I will not employ Boabese, definitely referring to one of the major ethnic groups. That does not bode well.
I agree.
She has no, but you did not. That did not come out. Nobody.
Okay, go ahead.
It didn't come out. It didn't come out. You know, to put us on the moral pedestal to be able to say the things we say. First, we start with a condemnation. We cannot give excuses for it. Yes, is that enough to torpedo all of her hard work over the years? They'll come to those issues. Nobody wants to be defined by a single incident, but at the same time, there are some single incidents we don't want to be consciously associated with. And she has apologized, though cheek in tongue, but so it's for citizens to determine. But I like to assure you, government has not taken a position on that matter, right? Government needs to review the situation. There is nobody, and I say it because I speak for government, that is putting her under pressure. When government takes a position on that matter, you will hear from us officially. So all of that social media, gossip, conspiracy theories and all of that has no place.
Okay, Mr. Swaray, Minister Swaray, thank you, sir. You are the voice of the government. Now, you know, the information minister, you come out, you tell people them, because you say there are gossips out there, there are things out there. But we see a thing you say, and we all...
I know gossips are not an insult. You live in the US, you know they are not an insult.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an insult.
Just not verified.
We're not upset. There are gossips, there are rumors, there are things going on. You know, they got bloggers that are gossipers. We talk on things, and things go, rumors go, misinformation go out there. But there's a big thing also on social media that the government has not addressed yet. We talk on, President Bio is big on corruption because you said that earlier, and we are all trying to fight. We see the commissions of inquiry came out, and the thing is going slow, all that stuff. Professor, you already addressed that. But one big thing that came out of it all now, the corruption is looking inside your administration. And there's I know you are aware of it, the Africanist press coming out and putting all these informations and putting all these receipts and evidence, but yet we are yet to wait to hear from the government, because if you are fighting corruption and all these allegations are out there against now, as of today, the Africanist press had said they're going to release, now he's dealing with the office of the president. And this is not looking good on your administration, because you are big on fighting corruption. And yet we are waiting as Sierra Leoneans. What are you going to come up to us to say? Because this is a big accusation. It's very, it might be, you know, you might take it as little, but it's not looking good for you people. What would you say to us? Or what would you say? Or would you hold a press conference? Would you come back and tell the people that, I mean, this is not true, or deny all the stuff, all these receipts, all this bank statements? Because some people are saying that's why you're rushing. It's out there on social media. That's why you all are rushing to bring the cyber bill law to silence your critics. And so, I mean, I put it back to you, sir. What do you say about that? What can you say to us? Because we don't take the message back. We're taking the message. We're provided.
I have made one personal commitment to myself.
Okay.
I'm not going to be responding to conspiracy theories, because they are in no short supply when it comes to matters relating to Sierra Leone. I have committed to ensuring that I'll stick with the facts. I'll continue to tell the truth as it is, as part of the national service commitment that I signed with the people of Sierra Leone.
But don't we deserve to hear from.
No. You asked the question. You asked the question.
Yeah.
You asked the question. I think it's very pertinent. This is my take on it. I'm surprised that you have not had the official government position on this matter. You know, I have spoken on this matter on public radio, on TV, at a press conference.
Yeah, but I provided you a space now. Can you say it again once more?
Yeah, no. So I was going to say,
we in the diaspora,
even at the risk of repeating myself.
Yeah, but we in the diaspora, we are out because you take us like we outsiders. We're not on the ground. So let the people, because I'm talking about people in Sierra Leone. They look at us like we are. I
don't, because I value the contributions you make, national development, the remittances, the cross-fertilization of ideas and experience. I don't. I respect the role of the diaspora, and this government definitely does. Wait and see President Bio's white paper on the review of the Justice Kawa Commission. What was it? Constitutional Review Committee. You wait and see and tell us whether we treat you seriously or not. This government.
We're waiting on that. We're waiting on that because we are Sierra Leoneans too, and we want to have a vote. So will we be able
this country literally for free what they have fought for all their life and could not get. But I'm not going to preempt anything. When the white paper comes out, you will see.
Okay. Will we be able? We will be able. Is it included there? Will we be able to vote outside Sierra Leone? Will they provide a thing for us if we're legal Sierra Leoneans?
I thought I just said.
I know we're gonna wait, but I just want to know. So we're gonna
open up a lead on that, but just note that this government is known for enacting very progressive legislations.
Okay.
So that we keep broadening the space for every Sierra Leonean who wants to be able to harness all potential.
We're waiting on that. We're waiting on that because we wanna return home. We wanna be part of the progress. We want to go eat the dirty them. We want care we grand picking they let them eat the dirty them where we be not eat. So we want a better Sierra Leone, and we wish una well. We want for make una win and Leona doing the right way for win. We want that because we want to go back. We're tired. Some of us we've been here forever. 30-something years in America since we were little teenagers,
I know.
So, but I want to open the line, please.
No, let's talk on the corruption issue now.
Okay.
Like I say, I don't make a public statement one day, not once, not twice, not thrice. But still, for una way they listen, we don't listen to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did say as government, we have done disbursements to the office of the First Lady for ensure able to continue for support His Excellency and the government flagship project and human capital development initiatives. Yes, we have done that. So now that make we say government statement, the anti-corruption may not speak up. Now then they in the lead, in the vanguard of the fight against corruption. Then they do investigations. Once that one day available, we will share with the rest of the Sierra Leonean community at home and abroad, right? Again, when I see government don't react to audit reports, then they not issue a stern letter to all ministry departments and agencies for come out with practical things for address their issues and then at the various ministries, departments, and agencies. So this is a government that does not go to bed with corruption. We want for TACWA. I mean, it's very endemic, for granted, but that is why we say very, very bold for the one.
Yeah, and the ones of President Bio, corruption, it's a fight that we must fight, and it's a fight that
we must win.
All Sierra Leoneans are on board that, so we want to see it done right. Thank you. Can you accommodate we listeners them for a few phone calls before on a leave, please, gentlemen?
Yeah, well, I will just insist on decorum.
Okay.
No, you don't have to fear about it.
No.
Yeah. In the past, I mean.
Yeah. We're going to open the phone lines now. Yeah, we're going to open the phone lines, make people them. And say this is a voice of Sierra Leone. Everybody in voice matter. Everybody in voice important. Everybody they talk nonsense. As long as you say it respectfully, as long as you come out and and give you concern or ask you question. Rightfully, you have 1 minute to ask a question to the Minister of, or Mr. Sila, when they come on at the Ministry of Information and Communications Unit, when at the voice of the government. And so we can't now me people, let me open the phone line. I know say that, but don't tell me say the phone, people are on the phone. I hope you all are still hanging on. Thank you for on and watch.
Hello.
Caller, good evening. What's your name?
Hello.
Who side you call from, please?
Good morning, we're on time now, and then I want to say I'm very happy to join the program, and I can say I'm fortunate. I have been looking for this platform, this type of platform, to talk with the minister.
Yes, sir.
I am Alpha Monarchy, a student in China.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
I am the president for the SALONE Student Union in China. I wanna, have my own say on various things, but let me start on the bill.
You only have 1 minute, Mr. Caller from China, my brother.
Yeah.
Only 1 minute.
It's about the bill. I know. It's a question.
Okay,
I know.
not
so, yeah, I want to start on the bill. Minister.
Yes, sir.
The panelists are asking you questions if you assure them, yeah. But don't you think that you can assure them today, and tomorrow me sitting here, I'll be the minister, and then I'll be the worst minister, or I'll be the president of SALONE, and then be the worst? And using that law might be something I want to use against the opposition. Don't you think that? That's one. The second question again, don't you think you go retiring as a minister tomorrow, you'll not be on media again, supporting politicians, but you'll be having young people coming in who probably might be on the opposition side. Don't you think this law will haunt them tomorrow?
Okay.
Because when we make laws, we should think of people tomorrow. And then can I also ask about the local council?
Okay, go ahead. Make it, you tell me to go up.
Yeah, the area about the local council, Mr. Minister, I think the constitution still have a room for independent candidate. So if the constitution have a room for independent candidates, I don't think if we have any, if you have any problem at all.
All right. Okay, 1 minute, don't go, my brother. Next caller, please. Caller, good evening. Name, morning, afternoon. Name and who's you call from, please. You can turn your TV down or whatever they listen from, because we get for you what you say, we get feedback. Caller, go ahead. What's your name? Who's you call from, please? Okay, we're having problem with the caller. You got to turn down your feedback, please. Your radio or TV that you're listening from. Go ahead, caller. What's your name? Who's you call from?
105 okay. Washington, D.C.
Yes, 105, yeah, Washington, D.C., sir. Good afternoon. What's your question?
Good afternoon, madam. Good afternoon to everybody. 105 Washington, D.C. Anyway, sorry to not follow the full, but just getting. Anyway, just make things brief. The present government of SALONE now will get to do more. The people vote for enough for development. Progress, let the country go before. But people home and abroad for the last 3 years, things not work out fine. I put it straight to the minister there, so he can tell the president. As we say in SALONE, people not happy. The cost of living, so many things. Una concentrate more on development, not to politics, not to tribalism, cheap politics with the mayor. That's not the pay. We want to road, light, water. Now that una for work on. When I concentrate on that, housing, people not get house. Look what happened 2 days ago, Susan's Bay. When I say when I get minister or somebody for infrastructure, they never come out with a plan to prepare local
Oh, okay, sorry, 105 is only 1 minute, sir. Next caller, please. We will give like 2 more, then we'll give the minister a chance for answering question a day. Caller, good evening, name please, and where they call from.
Hello, viewers. This now Omar recall from Switzerland.
Yes, Mr. Omar from Switzerland. Go ahead. What you get for the question for the minister, please?
Me first one commend the minister for this cyber law. Of course, in place this law is fine for not only except for APC, but for every Sierra-Leoneans, you know, because we see people, most of the people. So even though so good part of them they use the media for portray good things that are accountable, get a lot of misinformation where we feel say this law is in place, you know. But the faith at which the government they come with the law, and that we therefore ask questions. If the government they come with the law in good faith, okay, but if they come with the law or go after oppositions, we not feel say a good day in place, we not feel say that good law if they want to use it that way. Now, the important question where maybe one asks that this law, where did they put her? Then put anything in place for people away, at least compensate people away, government will come up with case against where these people win the case and they don't spend a long time at prison or or even at CID. Waiting then at this law for them kind of people, and because we don't see say a lot of time that they just keep people behind bars with no reasons.
Okay,
thank you very much.
Your question is taken. Compensation, they talk on compensation. Next caller, then we give the minister a chance for answer. Caller, good evening, name please, and who side they call from? Hello, caller, good evening. What's in your name and who side they call from? Hello, caller, good evening. What's in your name and who side they call from, please?
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, this Nabendu from Kansas City. This question.
Oh, Ms. Bendu, how you doing, darling? Go ahead. What's another question for your minister, please? Go ahead, Ms. Bendu. Go ahead. Turn your radio down.
This my own statements now to the minister at the director. I want to tell them plenty thank you. Let you not feel say the noise they all working they make not just out of frustration. We want to let them succeed, we want to let things then work out in the country. But waiting my own disappointment here is, I mean, as much as where the president in flagship have been for fight corruption, I don't want to believe say 3 years into this, we still they get problem with the Auditor General in report for say then get big problem with corruption. So me want for ask him, I mean, how we go fight corruption if we don't get systems them in place for prevent these people from being corrupt? I mean, we're not able to tackle corruption if we not get systems in place. And I feel that this should have been behind us. How they plan for fight corruption? Now, this is my own question. Thank you so much. And we they pray for it and do well. But I mean, we they feel discouraged because we don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. This is the thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my sister Bendu. Thank you. I'm now give the minister a chance to answer some question. Call her down, hold up. You know, we will give another chance for us. You know, set of people. Minister Swaray, honorable.
So this minister going to ask for an early reprieve, like a
okay. We'll come back again. Go ahead.
So Bendu in question. Thank you so very much for the very kind sentiments, Bendu. So yes, we said definitely very, very concerned. But it's important for not say, not a new set of Sierra Leoneans that inhabit this land called Sierra Leone. Now, the same people who don't grow up, who don't perpetrate corruption, who don't make an endemic over the years, now then they, right? So, we will continue for the best, we will put systems in place, and we have been doing that. Otherwise, it will be more judgmental than this, yeah. But, you know, President Bioki always talk, corruption also fights back. It always fights back with renewed vigor. We do all we can do, like the general as report don't come on. There is a marked improvement in implementation. I'm told now around 40% or so would implement now the recommendations there. That one day now improvement over what will be met. We are trying, but now the same civil servants there, the same public servants there, now they would work with, now the government they work with. where Auditor General reports come all the time, and I take being doing point. We know for the register, the kind of thing that see the register, but we don't take very strong position on now. If the people that not address them, the trust they even include seizure of salaries, withholding salaries, a whole lot of a raft of other measures and disciplinary measures, because we really think say corruption they undermine the state. Now in they make we're not able to provide basic social amenities for people there. So the corruption fight remains on. President's appetite for feta is still very huge. Okay, yes, okay. So I respect that. We'll not get anything for the dissension. We want constructive criticism. And this is a very legitimate question you asked. We want alternative views then that could make what they do better, right? So like when people then talk about the new cybercrime bill, foundational to this document, now global conventions like the Budapest Convention, where human rights and privacy, they are at the very heart of it. Now within a European Union countries, that is the cybersecurity model in that country. And they support, we use a whole lot of them benchmarks. Then the African Union, Malabo Convention, the ECOWAS directives, the Commonwealth Cyber Declaration, now in the UK and other places. So this will not be abused. I mean, we don't prove this time without number. We will not abuse trust. We're going to do the state of emergency. People that say, hey, then we'll go hold opposition and go do this and go do that. False or not cash during that period. Pass the word in the package and bring in the will be late, you know, just for making people that understand, say, when it comes to people that fundamental rights, freedoms, and data, President Bill, quite digital enough for understand the significance of the intimate. So the fears then say they might use it against the opposition. It's out of it. Yeah, but I understand people that fears will come from a past, yeah, during the Ebola state of emergency. I mean, the whole people there. Journalists, David Ambayo, and two other one, they arrest them during that period, right? So I understand how people that they come up, but this is a new direction. When I see we get a 1 year state of emergency with coffee, we know nobody on trumped up charges. This is a serious administration. We'll get respect for people that rights. So somebody talk about things that not work quite fast. Well, again, I understand the impatience. This country will be 60 years old the next month. Problems, things that people don't take for granted in other countries there. Now they will still they struggle with, right? But we are not resting on our horse. We continue for take the tough right decisions there. We continue for do the thing that we do. But also, you know, flip the coin on electricity. We have done so much for make sure say we give sustainable electricity. But guess what? Freetonians themselves, Sierra Leonean citizens themselves are so outrageously destructive. Then they sabotage the administration. Just last week, as at 2 days ago, 56 transformers and I don't destroy 56 transformers in our communities there. So man, they cut the cable, bay, take copper car and go. Take this on, they just take out Tifa. All this now for make sure say we provide electricity for communities. One transformer, for example, they're able to look at 200 customers in any area. So imagine the amount of people that want to not plunge into darkness. Government now money for put, for example, to free healthcare. Now they take buy transformers, but because our citizens they need electricity for making their life go on. So as when they talk this, when the whole way to account, there's also the civic side of it. Sierra Leoneans then will be responsible citizens. This is not my idea of being a responsible citizen. Yeah. The guy will call him from China. If you've been there online, I want to get a quick dialogue. I want to ask her if you don't read this bill. You know, I honestly don't want to discuss this bill with person who don't read it. It will waste my time. I don't want to let the person waste in time. Let me say waste my own time. I allow respect with time in it. He has not read the bill. Now politics is talk. I am not talking politics. Now this bill I discuss. As Minister of Information and Communications, I don't know what happens tomorrow. But that make I said no minister don't forget the enormous powers. We unfortunately didn't have the draft bill. I had advised Parliament about that, or don't tell them waiting for do. We had done a comparative analysis of the various offenses and the penalties there. Na neighboring jurisdictions there, na Ghana, na Nigeria, na Tanzania, na Kenya. We don't make all available. For example, if you're guilty of child pornography, waiting at the penalty in Ghana, waiting at the penalty in Nigeria, na Tanzania, na Kenya, we don't present all this to Parliament. Let them use that now and determine how much Sierra Leone penalty.
That is one thing, Mr. Minister. I'm so glad for that cyber law crime day, because we get a lot of people in the diaspora, and these are men. They go out there to Freetown, then get them picking them at Freetown. They're young teenagers, and this is a thing that it's widespread in our communities, and it's disgusting. Then they go out there in the communities, in the cyber, passing out videos. They picking them and they send for them $10, $20. They make videos sexual. They tell the picking they're waiting for do. Young girls, young children. Because of poverty, they take advantage of the children. So that particular part there of the crime bill, when me feel say that for me just attach on to that answer for God, that sex crime bill where President Bill passed. Because this is disgusting. These are men, grown men. When they grand picking, they age them, and then picking they age them, they are having these young girls making videoing themselves, then they sell them and pass them around to themselves and paying these girls money to do that. This is diaspora. Diaspora is people are all over, even wherever they are, they're doing that to the girls, young girls of Sierra Leone. So that sex crime bill, they are 100% agree for that. The cyber bill is not all bad, but the thing they will get concerned about, where they scared we want I make one law, I can't talk back and go revisit on them before I pass that into law. Let them look them back and let them look them back and let them look them back, because it will affect me, it will affect you tomorrow. It just like we want for make and seal that it will always stand no matter whose governments come. So that is the thing, and it's just we appreciate you for come. But just take a few more calls, then we'll go let you know.
What about the US today? Yeah, now they talk about Russia interference into elections. Yeah, now, unauthorized data, this, that. Now because we get crime, then I make they talk about trials. We get law and governance. Yeah. So now that kind of issues here, we just regulate now.
Yeah, it's good to regulate it.
Law they talk about
not trampling on the rights of the citizen. It's good to
have. Yes, sure.
As long as it's not trample and silence with voices, that will be harmful.
I want people to read down. They tell me say so. This bill is
yeah, but don't rush on it. Give it some time. Let the people then go over and let we see again and let we talk about it before we pass it into law, because we don't want something, we're not go concrete, we're go just vague, we're go open there, we're not go good for the majority of the people. That's all we're saying here, Mr. Minister. And now just take a few more calls, then we'll let you go. We so thank you.
I'm really worn out now.
I know. I'm so appreciative of taking time out to answer, because we have to have these conversations. Caller, good evening. What's your name? Who's the call from, please? Yes, caller, go ahead, please.
From Abu Dhabi.
Okay, Abu Dhabi. How are you, my brother? Go ahead. What you get for the minister, please?
Yeah, really fine. Yeah, but I thank you. I welcome the minister, the government ideas on the local council bill. Me that bill for me I like them for the benefit of the country, not for politicians. You know, people only out there they just want they don't go on that the ticket of political party in that country for the treat to families. You know, because we don't go they go give money to political leaders and they give them the symbol. People they're not supposed to get the symbol. They give them at the end of the day, they're not going to even work in the interest of the people. A practical example with what the mayor say, it just give edge for the government. What the government they say for let the pass that bill, let it be true. Because if we in talk na a meeting, you know, you don't need to do that. And besides, the people that elect not to political party put on it. If I work for the people, them Freetown it comprise of a lot of ethnic group. So if you just marginalize one particular tribe,
Thank you
fine.
So much. 1 minute. Now go to the other caller. Caller name, please. Who's the call from? Hello, caller. What's your name? Who's the call from?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, please, Mr. Caller. Go ahead. What you get for we and which question or comment you get for the minister? 1 minute, please. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, please. You on live. Go ahead.
Yes. Mina Abdullah Kuruma, they call from Maryland. I get question for the minister on the corruption aspect. And when the president may appoint the anti-corruption commissioner and the NPPA boss and Pias, like me now somebody I may appreciate that. See, these are the 3 stones that will fight corruption. But the question I get for the minister, here in, here out for the past 10 or 12 years, when the Auditor General report will come out, we find out say the same issues with the Auditor General don't begin raised. Now the same issues then they come out. And we realize say the department, the MDAs, they are not the implement within the Auditor General they suggest in recommendations, they are not implemented. And we expect the president now for treat them MDAs officials and with sledgehammer. You know things say when they treat them with kid glove, because we know they see the president they instruct a minister for let them fire some of them civil servants here and some of them parasital.
Okay, the next caller. They asked the question for implement the recommendations and the president for fire some of the civil service then, because we don't talk at this show say some of the permanent secretaries are the most corrupt. Now one of the people in Nande where they suffocate the government, the growth and development of Sierra Leone. So next caller, please go ahead. Waiting on your name, what you get for the minister.
Hello.
The mindful.
Yes, go ahead, please.
The last one for the minister.
Yes, this is Brenda they talk from London. And are they online?
Yes,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're online. Go ahead.
Yes,
the minister is
they talk from. Okay, yes, this is Brenda they talk from London. First and foremost, I want for thank you all for this wonderful show. And me in particular, I can always talk for SLPP, even though they cost me. The reason being, SLPP or this government is not perfect, yeah, like any other government all over the world. Unfortunately, then they go under a lot of firing and everything. You understand? In the case of Akitoya, I myself don't hear everything. You understand? And I will come out and say, of course, we go condemn what he is saying. But waiting at the problem here is like what Mr. Shilon asked. He asked a very pertinent question. What is tribalism? Okay. I cannot define it, and nobody can define it. But now we assume say yes, Akitoya was tribalistic. I want to tell Una right now, everybody, including me, guilty of that offense. If then they take action against Akitoya, let me appeal to the government that they for begin teach about tribalism in schools, in university, and every other person for be held liable for being tribalistic. You understand? Like instance, I just end quickly by saying, like everybody can say, Creole not to tribe, Creole na this, Creole na that, Minden na this. If that is the case, then therefore teach them that that is tribalism and it should stop.
Thank you, Brenda. I don't give you past time, Thank you so much, my sister. I appreciate you. Next caller. Let me make the next caller. The minister get for go next. They can.
Next and final caller.
Yeah. Final caller. Final caller for the minister, please. The last caller for today. I'm sorry, me people there may not be able to answer all my questions, but let me go to the last caller for today. Caller, good evening. What's your name and where you call from?
Good day, everybody. Good day, Madam Fadima, Mr. Minister, Honorable Minister, Mr. Shilo, and Honorable Kotubu, Professor Kotubu. My name is Abdullah Sisadi, call from New Jersey. I want to thank all on the panel and for this wonderful show. My first point, I want to comment Emwan Sila. I don't even know him personally, by the way articulating progressive ideologies, and me personally feel say some of those ideas they come from a heart, not just from a mouth, and I really want to commend them for that. I don't even know him personally. In addition to that, I want to say instead of the way the law or within the bill about the local government situation right now, how about improving certain situations as to how or putting processes in place as to how people in the first place will get the opportunity for be appointed by parties. I mean, I might not have ideas as to how it should be done, but again, I'll give an example. If we create an opportunity for wherein people they get the opportunity for show themselves or showcase their abilities, and no need for go book, but somebody we are aware of in community, know the common problems, and he gets the ability for read and write. Let we put those structures in place, like subjecting them into debates in public forums, etc., etc. And this not for the minister. We talk about the warrant where somebody will get from a judge with regards to cyber crime laws and how effective it feels that this will be when the judicial system it always favor most of the time, if not all, the sitting government by various reasons. How a judge will even be convinced to say, okay, yeah, I mean, no, this person will not get right for go search him for whatever the reason, you know, would based on party favor.
Okay, Abdullah. Sorry, Mr. Abdullah. Time don't get speak. I'm not bet with the minister again for go. Again, last few questions, Mr. Minister, to you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Abdullah, thank you. I mean, so we don't make substantial progress since we begin public engagement on this bill. Like Parliament, members of the public see the very compelling need for get this bill. That's a huge progress. So my brother concerned about the integrity of judges and police, we ultimately get for effectiveness in it. Well, I don't hear this from people there, but the point now is not only then we get the own traditional responsibility there. You know, go say, for example, or pull out a judge in hand, law can go to mayor or to teacher or to politician. Now then, you by the nature of their own role, now they for do that kind of thing. You understand? Secondly, now the kind of police that one they will get, the one will get now. But the good news is a lot of reforms that go on now the justice system, now the police. We hope, say, and this program self gets a training component for both the law enforcement officers and the police there and the judiciary. We hope say that go equip them for able dispense them functions there without fear of failure. Yeah, I mean Sierra Leoneans and get them fears in it. So Brenda talk about the inclusion, a proposed inclusion of Sinelere and digital tribalism. Well, we don't really begin a project like that this school year, inshallah, then introduce civics back in the school curriculum. Following a long consultative process, then Professor Magbele fired then Professor Joedi Ali, a host of other people that will be known in that realm, the Council for Civic Education and Development, bring them together, they don't put together a curriculum, textbook, and other thing there. Now the bid process they on for let them able for offer that contract today for print them textbook and for schools for include them. Yeah, so you know the Truth and Reconciliation Commission said they say let them teach human rights now schools there and higher institutions of learning. So we they now use that one day for subsumer under civics for do the next day. So that is work in progress. So somebody to talk about the recurrent issues then at the Auditor General's report. You know, yeah, I note that concern there. Governments are very concerned about something like I notes earlier. You know, the new government now bring all new people there for occupy all positions of trust. The same civil servants that have been there and the same Sierra Leoneans that they want to work with. Government they continue for do in very best for ensure say audit recommendations are acted upon, because I see the last letter where they write to we, ministries, departments, and agencies there, then they give clear deadline for ensure so implement audit recommendations there, or you know, sanctions that they would then prescribe, including forfeiture of salary or something like that, various sanctions. So yes, in addition, some of them things that can happen as a result of capacity issues then. Someday they're not able to do proper documentation. Someday, not just the nature of the people that are already in the office. So the Ministry of Finance don't post internal auditors and virtually all ministries, departments, and agencies So the internal auditors there will ensure say then do things then will they conform to the audit process, will they meet the procurement and other things. Because most of them in there are procurement related mishaps there. So efforts are being made to address that. Then I want to tell Brother Tenki, we hit the nail on the head relating to the local councils, the non-partisan local councils. Right? Fadima, like I used to, after all years of experience, I don't know which party they join. You go continue for South Salone.
Independent. I go to the one that is good.
No. So let me tell you, if you go as independent, Mr. Shilo, you go APC or SLPP, then they put all that machinery of their party, then you know go win. So all the time for yourself, now on the basis of your merit, your competence and performance track record, you will win or no win.
Yeah.
That is the case for the local council thing. It's been a great pleasure for staying out now. When I don't ask very insightful questions then. I think the program was very decorous. Nobody not cost me.
We don't do that here.
Yeah, no, I respect that. So we can continue dialogue. I mean, in the cross environment, this is what some of we do. I mean, I'm a public servant. I just reached my house after a long drive from market. Just reach literally, I don't even enter my room. I just kind of study for get this engagement. I tell him, I don't go.
We appreciate that.
I can't do this.
We appreciate that. To Mr. Shilon, I pass on to you and Professor. If you don't get anything for the minister, let go.
Well, now,
you don't travel.
In consideration of the minister and dedication, and I mean, having just arrived and give the courtesy of coming straight to the show, we have to be considerate. So, Mr. Minister, thank you so much. We hope to see you soon. We appreciate your time. We hope you appreciate we on time. And
absolutely.
We hope to see you many, many more times in this setting as well as other settings. So good luck. God bless you. Take care.
Mr. Minister, from the very deep roots of my own being, I want to thank you very, very sincerely for the honor and privilege. And I want for appeal to you calculus for lot for widening the fabric of communications between the government and we the governed, so that from time to time we will deal with the mundane issues them. We now they confront the people them. It's actually been my pleasure for getting that today.
Well, I want to say thank you for the time. I really appreciate the issues that I want to raise. We said all land in from it's been both ways. I should say we said they will give now new, we not be no about. We said I'll take back something there. Then kind cross fertilization of ideas here, then they're about. I appreciate on the time. I appreciate all of the conversation we don't go on. And one thing I see anytime something critical relating to Sierra Leone, either me or a member of my team, once when I reach out, will be available for clarifying.
Well, we thank you. We thank you again, Mr. Minister. We thank you. We thank you again. Like you said, ladies first, but I will get the last word here. We want to say, God bless you, Mr. Imran. May the wisdom of God lead una, follow una rule the right way, una do the right thing, and have the courage and the strength to do the right thing in the midst of wrong. We want change. We want people. This is the new direction. But I would prefer una change that name from Power to by all means, because Power not can look good Sunday. But anyway, yeah. But
it means that in English.
By all means, yes.
By all means possible. Or is it because of the
it make us sound a little better and gentle. But anyway, yes, we appreciate you now, and una continue for do the work of the people, because the people want to see change. It will get for affect with life. Let una able to make the basic livings of the people right. We want to go back to that Sierra Leone what we remember, but in the 21st century with good things and big infrastructures and middle class coming back. We want to see that Sierra Leone. That's why we speak. That's why we talk. And we gladly una they listen, una they give you chance for you. So thank you so much. Thank you. God bless una. May the wisdom of God make you follow una path, lay burden on a path, follow una come and do the right thing for the people of Sierra Leone, because the people are suffering, the people are crying, the people are hungry. We know say not so una begin if you don't say where it begin, but una don't touch the load now, and the load una don't touch, una get for work and do una best for try for do for the good of Sierra Leone and not for the good of individuals. So till next week, I love you all. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for viewers, me viewers them. I can always say if I shine today, una not jealous me or una go work on una self. Tomorrow the cloud go over me, the Sunday by you. So till next week, I love you all. God is love. Go make a difference. Go be the change you want to see. Go just give a hug. Go do kind words. I love you, Fadima. Till next week, I'm out. Good night. Thank you.
Very, very many happy reasons.
Mama and birthday they come on. Una no say time and history, no they ever tap for born. That pikin where them born tradeya, April 27, 1961. Na in don't turn mama so, with almost million pikin. Mama Salone, we young mama. He give me message for we all. He say, the thing them where we they allow for scatter we, for tie them a bundle, burn them, and make breeze blow the ashes go far away. Done the thing them where they gather we as one nation, for put we at pan them, think and talk about them, and try for they do them, so that we can stitch them together inside we at like patchwork bed sheet, lay down pan them, wrap we safe with them, or make a shobi, so any side where we go, as then see we one kind, then go know who side we come on, and then go see the love for we comping pan we. Complain, grumble, curse and swear, they make we sour. Like I say, na sour plum and tombi normal we they eat. So as tattoo and yawan meet, then don't ready for bet themselves. As we the fet we serve, stranger than they gather we property. Then they eat we rest, we the fet for pick the black. But we no go land. Mama go 60 years just now. We get plenty clever brother and sister them. We be make the world respect we. Who side that respect they don't go. Una make we gather we safe. Plenty good thing and good people dey na Salone. If we want for see them, we go able see them. Like how we can able fend and scatter the bad thing them but we safe. Make we make up we mind for fend and see the good thing and good people them when a Salone picking them. That go make stranger then respect we and respect we country. And then go afraid for take mumuyere wash we face and divide we. We know say mama like all kind color clothes. And he can say color no the drab, color na photo. So as we don't make up we mind for paint mama in picture as we present for in 60-year birthday, make all man come with in paint and brush. When different color they mix together for gladdy, then can make things sweet and fine. Then same color them where we been done they use for poison we save. Now then same one day we they can use for show say now we mind now then get for change. Fumble tick can bend, but he had for see he broke. As we don't make up we mind for serve mama, for make it dance and sing for this birthday. Now so we go they serve am take go.
This message they come out from the Ambassador at Large for Heritage and Culture and the President in Office na status.
Happy birthday.